So because it's Warcraft's 30th anniversary and we're not getting a BlizzCon this year, we will be getting a Warcraft Direct on November 13th at 10 a.m. PST, which is basically going to be a developer live stream for not only World of Warcraft, but also any other game in the Warcraft IP. So Hearthstone, Warcraft Rumble, and as we'll go over in this video, also potentially multiple of the Warcraft RTS games. So in this video, I just want to go over everything we could probably expect to be in this developer live stream and some potential really big surprises that could be going on with this. Now, as mentioned, this will be taking place on November 13th, and you will also have Twitch drops. So starting on November 13th, going until December 11th, there'll be some Twitch drops for all of the Warcraft games, or at least a handful of them. You have some Hearthstone pack, you have some random things for Warcraft Rumble, and then you have a few months for World of Warcraft. And I don't think you actually have to watch streams very long, even though these Twitch drops last for a long time. So the main thing most people are going to be caring about is the actual information we're going to get from this 30th anniversary stream. And I think one of these official posts actually gives a good summary of this. So it's been a big year for the Warcraft universe, and whether you're a Hearthstone fan, you've joined the chaos in Warcraft Rumble, ventured into the world of Azeroth in Warcraft Orcs and Humans, or you're a World of Warcraft player, there's something for everybody in the Warcraft 30th anniversary direct stream. You won't want to miss a moment or a single surprise. Now, I do think the surprise may actually be something else we're going to be going over in this video. The first piece of that being potentially a 2.0 for Warcraft 3 Reforged. Now, if you never followed this, Warcraft 3 Reforged is, as exactly as it sounds, a modern overhaul for Warcraft 3, but majority of this game was not built in-house by Blizzard. So when it released, it was very much unfinished and it just wasn't very good, and it still doesn't seem to be finished even at this point. But there was a Warcraft 3 Reforged 2.0 data mined in an alpha state, so this may be one of the first surprises, and I think this actually has a decent chance of happening because of the second thing that's been data mined, which is a Warcraft 2 Remastered. Because I think if they are coming out with a modern update of Warcraft 2 as well, they would probably want to also have something big for Warcraft 3 Reforged, since that hasn't been in a very good state since it launched all those years ago. Now, this one is being called a Remastered instead of Reforged. Not exactly sure what the differences in that would entail. I think the difference between like remasters or modern overhauls or different things like that don't really have like a standardized meaning. So they could potentially just be doing the same thing they did with Warcraft Reforged, just potentially actually built within Blizzard. Or this could just be like a graphical update for Warcraft 2. So it's all of the old original content, just with modern day graphics. It could be more similar to how D2R was made, but it is quite interesting that we've gotten data mined for both a Warcraft 2 Remastered and a massive update or overhaul to Warcraft 3 Reforged. So it seems like there's going to be a decent bit of RTS content with the 30th anniversary livestream. Now, outside of the old RTS games, you still have Warcraft Rumble and Hearthstone. Presumably both of these are going to be getting updates. I think Hearthstone did just get an expansion not too long ago, so presumably they'll probably be showing off a new expansion or maybe even something bigger for Hearthstone. I know Warcraft Rumble has also just been getting some updates as well, so I don't expect there to be anything super crazy with either of those, even if you're somebody that's a fan of either of those and plays them. Getting into World of Warcraft, which is obviously the big player in the Warcraft franchise, I think we are going to be getting quite a bit with that. Now, we already have a lot of the information for 11.0.7, which is the Siren Isle and all the new content coming with that patch, so they may go over that as well. But I think the biggest thing we're going to be getting for World of Warcraft is we're probably going to be getting a new cinematic. Not sure if it's going to be like a big CGI cinematic or if it's going to be more of one of the higher quality in-game cinematics that's going to lead us into 11.0, because we're not that far off 11.0.7. That's actually going to be coming out this year, so it'll presumably only be a couple months until we get 11.0 as well. So this is probably going to be a big reveal for that. We'll probably be shown a good amount that's going to be coming with 11.0, probably get a look into the raid, a look into presumably the new zone, where the story is going, all that type of stuff. And there may even be looks at stuff past that, because if we're going off Dragonflight, it'll be one of the minor patches in 11.0 where we also get a mega dungeon. So maybe they also want to show some of that off or tease that. And then there's just a possibility we get something else massive for World of Warcraft. And if you really want to go like pie in the sky theory, they could potentially show us some cinematic or some story beat going into midnight. And while that would be really cool, I do think they might not end up doing that unless they have some cinematic cinematic that they can do that won't spoil anything in the rest of the War Within, because as this is our first saga in the game's history, all of the expansions are going to tie into each other. So presumably something we continue to do throughout the rest of this expansion and in the final major patch of this expansion will probably tie directly into the next expansion. So it may be hard to show anything off from that without just spoiling stuff that they wouldn't want to do. And I would not at all be surprised if we get some other big surprise specific to World of Warcraft. I could very much see them having some new system or a new piece of content coming that's really exciting that they want to reveal at this as well. I could even see something like the return of WoW Remix. We already have the return of Plunderstorm early 2025. So I could very much see them teasing or showing off the return of WoW Remix, because that was an extremely successful piece of content that I would fully expect would be returning at some point. And it would definitely be really exciting if they announce the return of WoW Remix and they show off that it's going to be in a different expansion, which would probably be a lot of work to get something like that done. But that would definitely be a pretty big surprise that I think majority of people would be looking forward to. But that's pretty much all the information we have for the Warcraft Direct. I, for one, am very excited for this. More specifically, very excited to see the next major update for World of Warcraft. Kind of excited to actually see what happens with the Warcraft RTS games, especially something like a Warcraft 2 Remastered, because those games are just so old, especially the first two Warcraft games, that seeing a Warcraft 2 Remastered could be something pretty unique. But that's pretty much all I want to go over, so thanks for watching.